Hey boss, I messed up. I told the client we can fix X12 for them by Thursday. I was thinking of a workaround, but then I talked to John and they're busy with a new project, so I can't give the client the fix by Thursday and I don't know what to do. Or, even better, it's not you who goes and tells, but your manager finds out and they come to you. What will they tell you? How will they give you feedback on the problem you've created, well intended as you may have been? And how does this differ across cultures? Feedback is a huge part of a successful leadership and a successful team. So let's go through it. Now, this is how the American boss might sound like. Hey, I appreciate the initiative and the workaround you send them is actually pretty smart. However, now they want it ASAP, and that's a problem, because we would need to stop work on the permanent solution in order to give them the workaround. So now we have to kind of disappoint them and tell them that they need to wait a little longer. Would you be able to have that conversation with them and explain the situation? All in all, you made a mistake, but you had good intentions and you actually found an interesting workaround. Next time, just check with me before proposing anything to them, okay? Informal, direct, sandwich technique, optimistic, positive spin on how you can do better in the future. The American tendency for low context communication will make them a bit more verbose than others, and they will tend to state the obvious rather than assume you already know it. This can be helpful or boring. They'll also push you to fix the problem yourself, as individual accountability is a widely spread value in this culture. The overall positive attitude has many benefits, but they may seem excessively nice, even fake, to some more reserved cultures, as we'll see later. Now, your British manager's feedback for the same situation might sound something like this. Good intentions are admirable, but sometimes it might be better for one to ensure the right conversations have been had before action is pursued. A bit more patience might not be a bad idea. The Brits like to be sophisticated, but understated. Nothing flashy. Sophisticated but humble at the same time. Have their cake and eat it too. Their language follows the same line. They kind of say things, but they don't really say them. They leave it just open-ended enough for you to have to read between the lines. Good part is, it's not a very constraining feedback, leaves a lot of room for you to decide what to do. Although, remember, they do have expectations, even if they sometimes struggle to verbalize them. Don't assume they don't want anything, they do. Another problem is, if you're not used to their style, you may not even realize they're giving you feedback. Too subtle for their own good. The French manager will be more like, "Why did you not get my permission? There is nothing to be gained by promising things out of our control. Now I have to fix this. Next time, remember, measure twice and cut once." They share the Brits' passion for sophistication and undoubtedly think themselves to be even better at it. However, their style is the opposite of understated, is ostentatious. It's a difference between the subtlety of Hyde Park and the glitter of the Versailles Gardens. Something designed to give the appearance of natural, even when it's far from it, versus something designed to shine. Combine that with their tendency to over-intellectualize things, and you get the French manager. They're also very hierarchical, more so than even the Eastern Europeans, so who you are and what is written under your name in the email signature will make a big difference. The Dutch will be legendarily direct. They like to say that they are like this because back in the day they used to navigate on fog-filled canals and the communication had to be on point and extra clear. Left, right, stop, go. No time for subtleties. It is not good when we promise things to the client that we are not sure how we will deliver because it impacts everybody. It is better to take the time to make sure we do it right. They are well-intended and balanced as fuck. Together with the Nordics, they share that distinctly dispassionate way of speaking with as much inflection and emotion in their voices as elevator music. Egalitarian and direct, they will give it to you straight, matter-of-fact-like. It is very hard to misunderstand Dutch feedback. The Nordics are like Dutch on shrooms, that much more relaxed and that much less demanding. I just wanted to share my perspective on the impact of your decision to communicate that option to the client and bring it to your attention. They are low of Yanti people, devout practitioners of humility. They don't like to push and they don't like to stand out. Grey by decision, they've de-Vikinged themselves out of every shred of aggression. Their feedback will be mellow and more interested in respecting your boundaries than changing your behavior. It is a very relaxing and respectful kind of feedback, but sometimes it can feel like low standards. They don't really ask you to get better. The Germans are like a combination of French and Dutch. More pragmatic than the French, but less direct than the Dutch, and more formal and more hierarchical as well. Herr Engineer, the process is very clear. Any change from the agreed plan needs to be confirmed in the planning committee before communicating it to the client. Please ensure, as a matter of urgency, that you familiarize yourself in detail with the change management process. You can find the latest version 7.1 on SharePoint. Their love of rules is as stereotypical as it is based in reality. An American will own their feedback and say, "It is my opinion that you should do this or that." The British manager will avoid any ownership because it falls on you to read between the lines. The French will appeal to Voltaire or something to justify their feedback, and the Dutch will appeal to pragmatism. But the Germans will appeal to rules. They will tell you did good or bad, depending on how well you followed the rules. And now we get to the Eastern Europeans, which are not all the same, but are similar enough to each other in this aspect at least, to treat them as one, this one time. Burdened by a hard history and the recent shackles of communism-induced society-wide hypocrisy, their experience has been that feedback does not work. Those with power will never listen to those without. In fact, they might punish you for even speaking up. And everyone is on their own anyway. Expecting someone to change just because you ask them nicely is a child's expectation. This is the Eastern European background, the historical lesson. I would even dare say that the practice of feedback is maybe at most a generation old in this area of the world. My parents and those of their age, bless their hearts, could not have a disagreement that did not immediately turn into an emotional argument to save their lives. Balanced, assertive feedback? The concept did not exist. The words did not exist. And yet, in the past 30 years, we've learned a lot, including how to give feedback. Eastern European feedback, when you get it, is brutally honest and very much focused on the negatives. We don't mean to be mean, most of the times, but the assumption is that it's not worth talking about the good stuff. It's good, so why waste time on it? Let's talk about the issues, directly. Dutch style, but with more intensity and less finesse. What are you doing? Why are you talking to the client if you're not sure? Don't we have enough problems already? Just talk to me next time. And it will be terse, and it will tend to under-explain rather than over-explain, as an American would do, for example. And as a mostly engineering culture with a focus on facts and the objective truth, that's how our feedback tends to be too. We don't really talk about psychological perspectives or about everyone's personal truth or how you feel and how I feel and blah blah blah. What is this, a telenovela? This can of course be problematic, but also precise and effective. Thick-skinned people can find it very useful and brief and to the point, but if you're not ready for it, it can come down as downright rude and hostile in some of its stronger incarnations. An Eastern European's manager expectation from you is not to feel uplifted by the feedback they give you, not to pump you up, but for you to take it, deal with it, and act on it. You might feel bad for the rest of the day, but so what? It's just feelings. Do better next time. But this part of the world is changing fast, and its business and leadership culture is changing faster than other parts of it. We're integrating American concepts, Dutch concepts, mixing them with our own, so it's an evolving picture. All this is based on my experience, but also research, particularly Hofstede's Cultural Dimensions and the World Values Survey. I've got some links in the description if you want to read more about it. Have a good one.